Hello, my friends on the True Crime Grapevine. I'm your head fruit, Patti Lee, the dyslexic armchair detective. This is the True Crime Grapevine. It is True Crime Tuesday, the day I upload to let you know what's been going on the True Crime Grapevine. If you're new, hi, I'm Patti Lee. I'm just here telling you what the juicy stories are off the grapevine. You might or might not know a grapevine is about the gossip, the hap, what's been going along on the grapevine. So I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. And if you don't have time to maybe watch all the YouTube channels, hi YouTube, like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Or you might be listening to this on Podbean, hello, where I think the long form really works. Hopefully we'll also have each case file, or as I like to call them, a wine flight, because it's the grapevine. They might be also separated individual cases so that you can just go to whatever case you're most interested in to hear that gossip. But for right now, we're just going to go through the most popular cases that have been on the interwebs. And like I said, please like and subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube. And if you are one of my subscribers already, nice to see you back. Get a drink of whatever you're drinking for our first case. So, sorry, let me just tell you about what we're going to be talking about. So, we have a number of cases to follow up with this week. This is April 26th, Tuesday. True Crime Tuesday, and we have a number of cases. This is our 10th episode. Yay! So one episode a week. This week we're going to start out with we have a horrible new case. Horrible in that it is a 10-year-old girl. It's awful. Her name is Lily Peters, and she looks like a beautiful child. It's a horrific case. I'm sorry. A second case is going to be talking about Mrs. Gaw, I'm not going to say her name right, Ursula, the woman from Queens, the mom who's was the big M'd by her boyfriend, the handyman that she needed to get a new one of. We're going to have a little update on the Lori Vallow case. An update on Cassie Carley's case, what's going on with that suspect. A brief little update on Bear Morphew, who is no longer under any indictment and is a private citizen, but just, there's a few things to talk about on the grapevine. There's some scuttlebutt going on about Bear. I'm sure he can take it. And we have a little update on Gannon Stouck's evil stepmom. In my opinion, this is all my opinion, just my speculation. We have an update on, well, it's not really an update, but some information, and then also a little tidbit about Ms. Papini, but she won't be Miss Papini. There you go. That's a little thing for you. And we have a celebrity case just to chat about. I'm just going to tell you my opinion and what's been going on, the juicy story about Johnny Depp, everybody's favorite pirate. I don't know, he's my favorite pirate. Okay, so episode 10, April 26th. What's happened between April 20th or 19th, the night, and April 25th? Let's get into it. All right, case number 1. All right, this is a sad one, you guys. I'm just going to tell you. I have chosen this beautiful Beaujolais Nouveau. I'm not really into wine, even though I love grapevine. But this was one wine I did like. It'll be my only red It's a new grape. It is, they pick this grape the third week every November, and then it's put out. So this is the last year's wine, crop, vintage, 2021. So it is, you can still find like 2019, but it is a new wine. It is young and fruity. Anyways, I picked a young wine because this baby girl, we have a horrible case. Let's get into it. All right. This happened in a small town about 100 miles, I believe, east of, it'd be the biggest city in Minnesota, Milwaukee maybe. The city is, it sounds like a Hallmark channel actually, Chippewa Falls, Minnesota. So last Sunday, Miss Lily Peters, who is 10 and in 4th grade, and she actually kind of looks like my husband's side of the family, our relatives. She's just this cute little girl with these crinkly little eyes and this beautiful dark hair, and she just looks like a dream. She was riding from her aunt's house home. So I did Google it, and if you're interested, I'm Trish Lee, because I use different derivatives of my name on Twitter. But I went ahead and tweeted to our friends at Pretty Lies and Alibis, GiGi, and at Big E at the Docket, because they were the two Twitter accounts that I saw that first mentioned this case. So this is Tuesday, and it was Monday that it came out. So they were the people that I saw Monday night tweeting about this. So hi GiGi, hi Eric, and thank you. Great sources if you're interested, especially the Docket, Big E, Breaking Crime with E, I believe is his YouTube channel. But on Twitter, where you get usually like the first hits, he's known as, I forget, it's like at Eric something 89, but if you put Docket in, he comes up in a little pink circle. Definitely go follow him. He's one of the first people that always tweets out when there's a new case that you probably should be following. Anyway, so Monday night, this Lily Peters case comes across Twitter, and I did go ahead and look into it. So we found out Monday night, but they found her, so she left her, let me back. So Sunday, she was riding her bike home from her aunt's house to her house. And if you Googled the two like addresses given in the information, and it was from the ABC 13 channel. It is K. It's always K, isn't it? KRW. Call numbers probably happen for a reason. Anyways, sorry. If you look up Chippewa Falls, Minnesota, and the name Lily Peters, you'll find this case from a 13 ABC site from the area. And I thought they had the best comprehensive information about this case right now. Anyways, they gave just basically the blocks of where her aunt lived and where her mom lived. And if you were riding a bike, it was like 3 minutes. And if you were walking, it was 6. Now, that path, though, took you down from the aunt's house down this what was a larger street. Right? And we all know we don't really want our kids riding bikes on streets, busy streets. There was another way to get home. Now the problem is there's a river she had to cross. Either way, it looked like, if I have my information correct. And it said she went on a bike path, footpath. So if you Googled it, you could see like at the end of her aunt's street, it just has this like starting green line. And the green line does go into like a wooded area alongside the river, makes this little turn, goes past, so she was found, let me just tell you. So the path goes all the way through past a business area, and somebody on Google, if you go like to Google Maps, you can hit some pinpoints where somebody put some pictures of like this area where you can see where there's tables to eat like lunch, and it's at this factory. It's a brewery. And it looks like the actual brewery part. And then as you can turn, and there's like a nice, walking bridge. And you can like go, if you go to Google Maps, I don't know if you know this, but if you go to the little layering effect, it looks like 3 pieces of paper up in the corner. If you hit that, you can hit satellite imagery, and it's all this, you can see it like it's a picture, and you can even zoom in. Anyways, you could see this path go around a hairpin turn, this little nicer, like sturdier bridge over the river and into the parking lot. So I guess from the brewery people, they can walk over into, it's like a venue for that brewery. And it's like a outside beer garden-y type thing. And they have a larger, a place to park. And then it takes you out into High Street. You go down High Street, you pass a courthouse, I believe with the county jail attached. And you keep going on North High Street down, and then you get to Her Street, which was East Birch. So she left her aunt's house, probably was told to go a safer route, or maybe she thought it was a safer route. Not on the street, lots of cars, you could go into the street. Instead, she went on this little more, the bike path that they said people used. And I don't know about in Minnesota, but here in Ohio, Sunday it was 80 degrees. It was beautiful out. And we are on daylight savings time, so it is lighter, longer. And it doesn't say what time she left, but by 9 o'clock, her dad, she hadn't returned home. They were worried about her. They called the police by 9 p.m. So, and it's kind of late out until almost 8 around the area in the Midwest. Okay, so they call. They start looking immediately. They know which way she went, apparently. They had a dog, a canine unit was helping them, as well as somebody with a drone. They found her bike along the bike path. Looking for her. They found her 9:15 the next morning, Monday morning. So her school, which was Parkview Elementary, they'd already been talking, like the staff, like, what are we going to do? They didn't know. They just knew she was missing. Like, how were they going to address this? So they didn't have any chance to tell students before, like they didn't know that this had such a bad ending, which I can't even imagine getting that call about your baby. So 9:15, they find her body. They have not released any information about how they know that it's the big M instead of anything natural, but you can surmise this. She was found in the woods near a parking lot of that brewery, they said. So I don't know which side. It was much more wooded, and the path, at least the 2 pictures that were on Google Maps, the path was some way away from where there was like some, lunch benches or something for the factory part, or if it was actually over the bridge closer to the venue part. I think it was more in the brewery part. So, dark wooded path at night, even though a lot of people travel it. But if you go to Google Maps, you can see, if you go to the last address, the last house, I believe it's 1616, whatever the aunt's, it was North Grove Street in the 400 block. So there's this house, 1616. And it shows, like, the 2 concrete pylons where if you've been on a walking path where it says, like, you can see a sign that says no motorized vehicles. Okay. And it doesn't look great around there. Eric and I even had a little discussion on Twitter real quick about, he said, I went there on Google Maps, it looked like it was a junkyard because there was like junk on the one side. But no, if you know how you can do that 360 thing, that is where it is, where the path starts. So I don't know. Now, we will hear more. This is horrific. I always like to say, so what can we take away from this? So we can tell, so we're not victim shaming. This is not the victim's fault. This is no one's fault. Especially because if you have somebody who's 10's getting kind of older, you're in double digits. She sounds like she's a responsible girl. It wasn't far away. The river was the only thing impeding like a direct path home. But otherwise, going down a busy street when it's starting to get dark, or going through on a path that people walk all the time, you know, the thing is, monsters are watching. And I always say, do not go into the woods alone. Always go, even in pairs can be dangerous, as we know from the Delphi murder case. If you're going into the woods, go with a group of people, please. That's just my opinion. Somebody saw this child. There's a person that mentions, now I saw, again, when you get one person who will say something, a bunch of different media sources will pick it up. So I don't know if one person said something like, oh yeah, I saw her all the time. She was always playing on this back hill. And I don't know if it's that house that 1616 this person belongs to. I'm not even going to say the name. You can look it up if you want to, because maybe just a good Samaritan, maybe somebody just saying something. But we do know people insert themselves. And what I didn't like was that this person said, oh, they were out there all the time in all kinds of weather. I always saw them playing. They were around my kid's age, and she was a really cute girl. I'm getting a weird feeling about that. Again, I don't know. I'm not a police officer. My background is in educational psychology. I know about typical development and how people think. It does help me understand when criminal psychologists and behavior analysis people talk. I kind of get what they're saying more easily, but I don't know. I just find it weird that this person mentioned that he saw her all the time and how cute she was, and that his house was nearby. So, again, somebody who would see, oh, there she goes into the forest by herself and it's nighttime. I don't know. Of course, there's the brewery factory. Did somebody see her? But this wasn't, I don't know, maybe this was a normal thing she did, and maybe at this time, we also know from the Naomi Arian case, again, not her fault, but we don't want to be at the very same place doing the very same thing by ourselves anytime the sun's not up, especially, but in a secluded area. We just don't. This is a bad one, people. There's nothing good that can come with this except getting that monster. So here's to getting the monster. So that's our Lily Peters case. Minnesota, Chippewa Falls. Really, really sad.